Hey everybody, long day, brutal day. Hope everybody's okay out there. We went through a pretty hard time in the summer and we thought that was the bottom. We thought that was the end of it, and we were going up until you all know what happened, until somebody screwed the pooch. And let's talk about how bad things are. And of course, edutainment and the story again. We'll try to get into exactly what's causing everything and try to figure out if there's a ray of hope. And we'll look at all of the markets and all of the demand destruction. And some people say it's darkest before the dawn, but believe me, it's pretty dark right now. And this is the darkest we've seen. So let's talk about SBF. Did he kill the midterm rally? The stock market was supposed to rally after the midterms once the control went to the Republicans. That hasn't even happened. But the point is, will there be a year-end rally? We do know from looking at 70 years of history, a quick reminder, 97% of all stock market returns happen in November and December over the last 70 years. The question is, what is the market going to do now? We know the markets can move fast, but how do we prepare? But let's dig into this contagion and what has happened, and was it all a big game? This is from Binance today. The news yesterday was like, oh, Binance saving the day. Today, Binance like, nah, no thank you. We don't want any of this FTX stuff. And they believe they mishandled customer funds. And there's allegedly some US investigations happening out there. And that is a problem. They believe it is beyond their control or ability to help. The hole is big. Some weird stuff has gone on. And that is why many people are very angry right now. This guy, let's just go ahead and talk about this guy. SBF, he's a trader. He knows the risks of trading. He knows the risks of leverage. How would he do this? With all the turmoil and everything else, the largest crypto exchanges in the world, and one that emphasized putting its own vision forward for policymaking in DC. This is what's infuriating. You pretend to be one way and you're another. And that is very upsetting. After all of the stuff that's happened this summer, after all the debacles, and here, this guy knew exactly what he was doing. And he was cozying up to politicians like, look at me. I can help you write your laws. When really he probably would have written them for himself. And that's why maybe the real truth is, SBF trying to influence the crypto regime in such a way to bolster his own exchange and undermine digital protocols and decentralized finance. And maybe that's what pissed CZ off. And sorry for using that bad P word, but miffed him off, got him very upset to pull the plug on his former disciple. There's also rumors that SBF did something against CZ in 2018, and CZ is not the type of guy who's forgetting. So I think he was just playing games from all the architecture of the whole run on FTT to where we are today. Again, a brutal 42 to 72 hours. But let's talk about regulation. And again, big thank you to Sanjay as well for sharing with me some words from Gary Gensler. Love him or hate him, he talks about the fact that, the SEC is there to protect investors, but he's been sitting back watching crypto for years and years and sitting on his hands, some people say. But he believes the collapse of FTX is something that he just wants to step back and look a little bit more and maybe compare it to what happened over the previous 6 to 8 months. And I don't know, but the SEC chair continued to point out that lack of disclosure and transparency is a problem. I don't know. And the public need protection. We know that. Again, no big miracle there, but why not get things going, to stop this from happening and prevent people like this guy hanging out in DC when clearly he knew something was bad or up. Clearly malicious at this stage. He should have known better. Clearly People are painting him in the same box as some of the other criminals we've seen in 2022. Sorry for being a bit vocal, but this is upsetting. Anyway, in other bad news as well, we have divorce and FTX. Tom Brady, who is a very famous American football player, will probably have to play till he's 50 years old, because these two also invested a lot in FTX, and they're going to be most probably wiped out. And that will be a big problem. They had a massive fortune, a big chunk of which they put into that particular company. So being an ambassador sometimes is not a good thing. Now let's get back to transparency and proof of reserves. This is coming to calm markets. It was kicked off by CZ. I touched on it yesterday, the day before, regarding Merkle Tree proof of reserves. Every crypto exchange should have this, and they will have it soon, within a month. Also, OKX came out and said, we've always maintained one-to-one reserves, never used customer deposits, etc. And they're going to come out. Linhan as well from Gate.io said the same thing. And of course, Justin Sun, whose token, whose algorithmic stablecoin is depegging slightly, I think, if he has USDD. But he's also talking about that too, about being much more transparent. They're trying to really bring calm to the market, because a lot of people now are saying, okay, I've had enough of this crypto stuff. It is beyond the Wild West. Everybody's getting kicked in the teeth, but not just once, but many times. When is this going to end? Is this the last cowboy? Is there another shoe to drop? Is there more contagion going to happen? I don't know. But this was shared with me again from Sanjay from Bull. And he said, this murders Solana in the short, maybe medium term, not because of collateral selling, that too, but public perception and fear. And DeFi will get absolutely hammered. We're already seeing that with some of the DeFi protocols that are out there. And that is going to hurt. But Bull does say, more importantly, however, with the new emperor, i.e. BNB and Chain will moon, do well short term, but long term, Solana is the better chain. And it definitely is from a decentralization perspective and everything else as we go forward. And in addition, hat tip to Chris Berniski for the inspiration for this little blurb I put together with a lot of inspiration from him and his tweet thread today. Basically, I changed some of this and put in my own flavor, because I was talking about this today, earlier in Patreon, that I felt that this era we're in right now with sub 15, sub $20 Solana, whatever you want to call it, reminds me of when Ethereum went under $100 and everybody thought, okay, this is it. Game over. It's dead. But remember, things are darkest before the dawn. But this is insane. So when things feel bottomless, they tend to bottom. And we thought we were at a bottom, but here we are again. Breakpoint, the conference, was an emotional high. The development and the breadth of functionality of the applications for that run on this blockchain were kind of stunning. And Solana will emerge more anti-fragile than when it entered 2022. That's pretty clear. It'll also be more decentralized because Alameda's gone. And it always had the stink of what people call Silicon Valley VCs, etc. But now they're gone. They're out. They had to sell. And that'll make it more decentralized, which is good. Now, the vision for Raj and Anatoly was always consensus at the speed of light. And with the demos we saw over the weekend, they have that ability to execute, no doubt in my mind, to get to 1 million TPS. They're already at that, pretty much more or less. And the vision remains 1 billion people to the blockchain, getting them there. And again, these two guys, Raj and Anatoly and the team around them, they're not blood-sucking demons that we've seen too many of in 2022. They want to build something special. So I have confidence in them. Maybe. But then again, we've been let down before. But let's put one thing in perspective just to share. This is market caps compared right now based on the market cap of Ethereum versus Solana. Ethereum is 30 times larger. Okay? And last time I checked, these two pretty much have the same daily active users. Solana does a lot more transactions. Solana sells as many NFTs. And yada, yada, yada. You've seen all my videos and how these things compare. How can it be 30 times larger? I don't know. We'll see. But over time, I think there'll come a time when things get so cheap, people will start saying, oh, right, something's going on here. Maybe there is a lot of upside to be had. And this is where market pricing comes in. This is when people start allocating based on value and start swapping one asset for another. So there's a lot of selling pressure coming over the next 2 days, 3 days. Could Solana hit $10 and go under? Yes, especially if 50 million tokens hit the market and there's nobody out there to buy. 50 million times 10, $500 million. Retail investors don't have that much money. It'll require big money to swoop in and get a good deal fast. And maybe that'll happen too. I know there are some VCs and there are some capital allocators sniffing around, but they might just wait for the right price. So it's going to be a rough couple of days, but then it should all happen pretty fast. Now, let's talk about something a little happier. Twitter has a plan to become the everything app, and they filed paperwork today to get into the payments business. And it's funny because years ago I used to travel a lot to China, and I remember the WeChat app where you could literally do everything from your phone. You could order a car, order food, book a hotel, pay, identify yourself, you name it. Everything was included in your phone on an application. And that's the vision of X. And it happens, but they want to do it bigger and better. So enter these two. I know they're good friends. I know they know each other well. This is Jack Dorsey on the right, Elon Musk on the left. And maybe this, on such a crazy, crazy day, this is a sign of how the world could go. Just imagine running payments and all the other stuff you need to do, turning into a social network on Twitter. He already talking about long form videos and everything else, Twitter verified, helping manage everything, moderating things properly. This is the real news. Bitcoin, perhaps empowering the new Twitter, running on the Lightning Network to enable transactions. And this would completely disintermediate traditional finance. And this is also inspired by Caitlin Long as an issue. This is super, super exciting. In other news as well, Meta got 13% or 11,000 employees. And that was pretty hard out there. As we all know, there's a lot of job cutting happening all across the world. Everything's grinding to a halt. The Fed have yet to realize that, but one day they will. And I think Mark Zuckerberg did apologize. He said, yep, I screwed up, made a mistake. And this is kind of mass layoffs now. Nothing like the 50% that Elon did at Twitter, but 13% is a big chunk. And Wall Street spoke, Zuckerberg listened, and here we are. They're tailing back expenses. Sorry, long day. In other news as well, Coinbase, a lot of people believe Coinbase will reap the benefit of FTX going down. We'll see. But this is a list of all of the buys and sells that Cathie has done with Coinbase. She bought today as well. And you can see the little spike of purple on the right. The green dot is not there yet, but she's been buying all the way down. She did sell on a couple of occasions. I think she sold at about 75 recently. Sold about a eighth of her bag and has gotten back in again. Again, many believe that this will benefit, be a boon towards Coinbase, but Coinbase fell another 10% as well today, which is pretty hard. Now, in other demand destruction news as well, home buyer cancellations rates are exploding, and Toll Brothers reported a cancellation rate of 13%, well above their historic rate of 7%. D.R. Horton, another big home builder, 32% cancellation rate, well above their normal of 16%. And a few key points are new home sales does not include cancellations. And we haven't even seen the data from the last Fed hike or the last couple of months. It only goes to August or so. So we've yet to see the real damage and what's happening to real estate markets. And again, Fed, I hope you're looking at this. And in other news too, another sign of everything grinding to a halt, mergers and acquisitions on a global scale have dipped dramatically. And this is the slowest quarter in Q3 2022 since the onset of you-know-what in March 2020. And the aggregate deal value for the quarter was about $443 billion, a 50% decline compared to Q2 and 58% decline compared to Q3 2021. And everybody's running for the hills, corporate investors, advisors, etc. Everybody's worried about the war in Ukraine, inflation, what the Fed's doing, increasing interest rates. Everybody's battening down the hatches. And this is just smashing everything. So that's why, again, you don't have a lot of liquidity out there. That's why everybody has to sell everything to fund everything. Anything that's liquid will be sold. That's why FTX sold Solana. That's why it's, took a huge hit. Nothing to do with the blockchain itself. Blockchain is running along like everything else. But you have Elon Musk selling Tesla, $4 billion yesterday, probably another $4 billion today, to help fund Twitter as it goes forward. So again, everything is kind of a little bit on fire right now. So quick one today. Thank you all for being here out there in the audience. 6,000 people. Love it. Sorry, such grief tidings and crazy times indeed out there. But there'll come a time, I don't know if it's going to be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. A year and a half is the next Bitcoin halving, and we know things are going to go bonkers after that time frame. So we just need to get to that level. It is brutal right now, but the future is still bright. Everybody in the know, all the OGs in crypto, despite, I think it was Kobe said that he felt it was less than 1% chance of anything ever happening to FTX. He was stunned today. Stunned. So a lot of people were taken by surprise. Some weren't. And that's just the nature of the beast. Anyway, thank you all for being here, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.